Hi, I'm Kent German. I'm here at CES 2012. It's the CNET stage for a special edition of Dialed In. I believe we're on episode 206, if I remember correctly. I'm here with all my stuff, Jessica Dolcourt, our senior associate editor, our very new associate editor, Lynn Law. She's been on the job, how long? A week, I think?
4 days before CES.
Yeah, 4 days. So here she is at CES, so it's kind of a crash course in tech reporting.
We believe in trial by fire around here.
Yeah, we really do. How's your 11-day work week? How's that going?
It's been great. It's like 12 hours a day, no sleep, and yeah, running around a lot.
Okay, good. And then we have Brian Bennett, who is also somewhat new to CNET, but comes to us from a great tech reporting background. And we're here to talk about what happened here at Phones. It's a big phone show, absolutely. I mean, compared to the last couple years, don't you think? Like, huge number.
Last year was pretty good, but this year was definitely something that would require us to sit and take notice. It was impressive.
And Jessica's been keeping very careful notes about how many phones we have and our stats. So what are some of the stats?
Okay, so they announced 21 phones so far, and I think we're done with the announcements here. So 21 phones that I know about.
Don't jinx it, by the way.
Yeah. Only one of them so far was Android Ice Cream Sandwich. There were 2 Windows phones, and one of them we knew about, one of them we didn't. And 5 of the phones that were announced have the word Galaxy in their name because they're part of the Samsung Galaxy line.
Can I just say, like, are we in an era of long phone names? Last night at T-Mobile we had Samsung Galaxy S2 Blaze 4G, right?
Yeah, and then there's also the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket HD.
I know. So, I mean, I don't even know how they put the marketing in these phones. Like, if the little plaque in the store, it's just going to be, like, this long. So, we have a big phone show, lot to see. What are we most excited about? Brian, what is? I think I know, but, I want to hear.
I've been talking about this phone. The second I found out about it, on what was it, Monday?
It was the hour of like Verizon press releases every 5 minutes.
Yeah, we were covering the AT&T press conference, and all of a sudden, boom! Verizon comes out with a whole bunch of new phones. One of them is the one I'm really excited about. It's the Motorola Droid 4. So if any of you guys out there actually are original Droid owners and really love that keyboard, what we're waiting for an Android slider with dual-core processing and LTE data access. I mean, this phone has got your name all over it. So I have it actually right here if you want to take a look. As you can see, we've got a big HD screen right here, and the phone actually slides open here, and we've got a 5-row QWERTY keyboard here. So
that keyboard looks pretty nice.
I know you made a big deal about the keyboard. You thought it was really cool. I mean, is it one of the best you've seen? Is it kind of bordering on like BlackBerry RIM territory as far as feel of the keys?
When I picked it up, I first picked it up, I was like, wow. First of all, the keys look great. And also one thing I liked is it's backlit and it feels really good when you press. It's rubberized and very tactile feeling. Another thing is that it has the whole full QWERTY, full number row on top, which is really cool. Plus directional arrows in case you really want that. So, but I mean, this thing, and also another thing, they call it a laser etched keyboard. Which
what does that even mean?
Yeah, did they actually use a laser? Or?
I'm assuming. I have to find out, but. Also,
I think it'd be cooler if it shot lasers out of it.
That's right. I don't want to be blinded.
We need to start some sort of dictionary of all these like laser keyboard and hyperskin back. And, and like all of these things. And, like, what does that really mean? So.
Well, actually,
nits of brightness.
There's actually something that's even cooler or even weirder. Is that it's supposed to have a nano coating around the entire device, which repels spills.
So it's water resistant.
It's a little bit, from what I understand, it's a little bit water resistant using nanotechnology. So.
It's only slightly water resistant.
Don't spill your drink on it.
It will take 3 drops, but not 4.
Right. Yes. Not a full glass. Maybe
So Droid 4. Do we know when that's coming out?
I believe Q2. I'm not sure.
So Q3, in other words.
Somewhere in there. There's no.
I tend to be a little. I tend to be a little pessimistic.
Or actually, it may actually. You know what? I think it may be even coming sooner than that. Maybe in the next few weeks. So we'll take a look and see when it comes out. There's no pricing yet, I don't believe. So, but I mean, this is a device that a lot of folks have been waiting for.
And on Verizon.
And on Verizon,
okay.
Yes.
Jessica, what are you most excited about?
Okay, there are 3 phones I want to give a shout out to. The first is the Nokia Lumia 900. That was leaked before the show. It was just great to actually see it in person. I like the previous version, but this one, it's larger, and that beautiful screen really pops out, and it looks fantastic. It's great. I love it.
You know what I like about it is like Nokia has done such a long history of doing really good designs. You know, remember those Nokia phones in the mid '90s where like you could just bang that thing around forever, and it wasn't recovered in rubber or anything. It wasn't like this Nextel. You know, you're supposed to shoot it out of a cannon or whatever. Like you could drop that thing, it lasts forever, and they've always been really good about that. Good about display, and it's nice to see Nokia continue that tradition.
Yeah, it's a completely original design, and I love that. The other phone that I really liked the LG Spectrum from Verizon.
Yeah, I haven't got my hands on that.
You know, it's kind of simple in the same way that the Galaxy Nexus is. It's no real like design, I guess.
Flair.
Yes, thank you. I have CES brain, but it's very simple. It's very clean. It's got a lot of high-end specs. It's just a nice package altogether. And then I also want to give a shout out to the Pantech Burst. And Lynn took a look at that as well. But I think that Pantech really put a lot of effort into that phone, and there's some nice design flair.
Yes.
And it looks really good, and it's going to be really cheap on AT&T, like $50. And I just think it's great value, and that's one of those phones that I think could possibly be a sleeper hit.
Okay.
I really like it because it's like a lot of people really want smartphones but can't necessarily afford the high-end stuff. And the ones that are on that price range aren't really, they don't look very good quality, and it's like...
Not really premium.
It feels really plasticky, but the Pantech Burst actually feels like a quality phone, and it's only like $49.99.
And the specs are good. There's a dual-core processor on it. There's a 5-megapixel camera. There's a front-facing camera, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
Does it have like metal in it at all, or any kind of?
Well, the backing looks like textured, almost like textured wood grain, but it comes in red and titanium, and it looks really nice. It looks like.
And there are these ridges
Yeah,
on the back.
We really like those
So
grooves on the side.
I'm a fan of ridges.
It's like some contouring going on in the phone.
Mark his words on it. So there was
I'll be like, hey Brian, ruffles? I know you like ridges.
6 phones announced at the AT&T press conference on Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, the AT&T press conference.
Yeah,
that
Jessica
ran
was in the
2.5 hours. So
And did your laptop battery last?
Oh, well, I actually, our live blogging tool comes with a mobile version, so I was live blogging from the mobile tool, and then after about 45 minutes in, I turned on my laptop because I only get 2.5 hours of battery on that. Roger Chang was next to me. He had like 10 minutes left of juice at the end of the show. Our news chief declared the press conference longer than Avatar.
Oh, I read that tweet.
Yeah.
Wasn't your battery about to explode? Like I picked up your laptop yesterday night, and it was like melting. Almost.
Yeah, I was waiting for flames to start spewing forth from it. We were giving it a workout.
We are. So we had some predictions before the show. We thought, we're going to see.
Wait, what's your favorite phone?
Oh, I guess we skipped over me. Huh? I'm gonna have to say Lumia. Actually, I really like that phone.
That's mine too.
I'm sorry. I thought you were the Burst.
Oh,
you want to say anything more about the Lumia?
No, just we could both.
Okay, I really like the Lumia. It's got a great design. I really love the feel of it in the hand. I love that display, and I like sort of the angle of it. How you move, you kind of approach from the side, and it bevels in a little bit.
Yeah,
goes in. It's really
like
smooth.
Ever so slightly curved on top. Windows Phone 7 is something I didn't use for a long time. I just, Bonnie Tai, who used to review smartphones for us, she was always the person reviewing those, and so she was in New York, so I never really saw a lot of them, and then I started using that operating system, and I do like it. I think it's a nice mesh between, it has a little bit of Android, it has a little bit of iOS, it meshes some of them together, and I'm a real fan of that phone. And I was at the press conference, and Nokia was making a big deal with CEO Stephen Yelop about, we're back in the US, we're back in North America, and actually T-Mobile said the same thing kind of last night. They were like, we're back, and I thought, okay, that's
also,
good.
I think BlackBerry RIM said that they were back
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah. Everyone's just back.
So this is the show of being back. But
except Google, and they're not even here.
For so long Nokia, I know a lot of people think about Nokia in the U.S. and they think, well, they're just not doing well. They're not doing well as a company, and that's not really true because so much of Nokia's business is overseas in emerging markets. Those little phones that we used 10 years ago, huge part of the business still. They really lost some of the smartphone train because they didn't get on with carriers here, which is so important in this market. But it's nice to see that support and see somebody really pay attention to Windows Phone 7, see a carrier pay attention to it, and I think it seems like a really solid device. Cool. I haven't used AT&T's. You used AT&T's LTE, right? Recently?
Yes.
Okay. And you liked it?
Yeah,
You thought it was
well,
pretty fast?
I'm cautiously optimistic of AT&T's LTE. I checked it out in San Francisco, and the speeds were pretty good. But I think the real message with that, the true test between that and also Sprint's new 4G LTE network, is going to be how it holds up under load when everybody starts getting the phones, when everyone starts using them. Are we going to see the same problems that we saw in San Francisco and other cities like New York, with sort of congested,
Yeah, New York, forget about
3G
it. New York
networks?
is the worst. Like you have to fight for everything, and Spectrum is just another thing on top of that. So
fight for space in the restaurant, on the train, in the subway, like on the sidewalk, and Spectrum too.
It's terrible.
Hey, get out of my Spectrum. But basically, I think that these questions are going to be answered down the line in 6 months and a year from now, how well the development is actually going.
And actually, you touched on Sprint. That's another big thing to happen here is that Sprint, has a WiMAX network. That's been their 4G for a long time, and there's been a lot of issues with Clearwire getting funded, which of course they're WiMAX partner, Clearwire having enough spectrum, and we knew at some point they were going to go to LTE, and then at the show they've announced that. I mean, they announced it a little while ago, but they confirmed plans. They said, I think San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta by the first half of the year, and they introduced 2 new phones, the Galaxy Nexus on Sprint with LTE and the LG Viper.
The Viper.
Viper, yes.
Oh, and a hotspot
Viper.
that actually switches between WiMAX and 4G LTE, which I think is really smart, even though the thing is tall and looks like an anvil.
An anvil. I want to carry an anvil in my bag, I think.
So the interesting thing about the Samsung Galaxy Nexus is it is pretty much identical to the Verizon version that we looked at. However, it actually has Google Wallet enabled on it, and the Verizon version doesn't. And it's a big thing too because Sprint is a Google partner with things like Google Voice. So if you've got Google Voice, you can very easily get it on your phone. And we didn't really use it. Put it on the company card. But basically, if you either have a prepaid Google card or if you've got the Citi MasterCard with PayPass, then you can start using that right away on the Viper as well, which is also NFC enabled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Brian, you saw the Verizon Galaxy Nexus running Google Wallet at some point, or it was, you didn't actually maybe not see it in person.
I actually, I've a little while ago. I mean, people were upset when the Verizon Nexus, Galaxy Nexus on Verizon came out, and it did not have Google Wallet support, even though it had NFC built in. So people started to actually hack their phones to put that capability on them. And a couple people I know have already actually started doing that. Now they've got the app on their phone that allows them to access Google Wallet. So it's just interesting. I mean, I would love to use Google Wallet's feature, especially if there's a lot of free little deals I can get. Free drinks, free food, free I don't even know what, toothpaste at Duane Reade or something. I would love to try that.
And so do you guys see yourself using it as well, like mobile payments on your phone?
No, I don't really like using robots for
Money.
It took me a really long time to use an ATM.
Okay, I have a great use case though. Going to the gym, let's say I leave everything in the office, go to the gym next door, take stuff with me. On the way back, I realize, oh man, I really wish I had a Gatorade. I want a Gatorade. I don't have anything with me. If I had this on my phone, bam, Gatorade in hand. I think that we're going to learn to use it, and the people who thought they never would will.
Sooner or later, we could put our IDs on it, and then we'll just never have a wallet.
And never lose your phone. You can actually just, you're going to have to sew it onto your arm.
I'm still one of those cash people, I've got to say.
Yeah.
I pay for a lot of things in
Just
cash.
untraceable.
Untraceable
no paper trail. No.
I don't want anyone
I
to know.
pay for things in gold.
I don't want anyone to know I
gold
bought.
stamp.
I don't want anyone to know I bought that, People magazine, right? It's kind of embarrassing.
Exactly.
So, any disappointments so far? Anything you wish you had seen that we haven't?
I was completely wrong with our prediction. I thought this was going to be the Android ice cream sandwich show. And instead, there was one ice cream sandwich device. Everything else is gingerbread 3.6
right.
or 3.5.
0.9.
That will be upgradable later on.
Yeah.
But
one thing that
I can't believe I was wrong.
One thing that was pretty cool is that Huawei had 2 global devices which were running ice cream sandwich. That we took a look at, but of course they don't have a carrier, they don't have any sort of any information about them really. But basically it's the P1 and the P1S, and they're gorgeous devices, super thin. One of them has like a metallic, shiny red coating.
Those are the ones you can get the bright yellow cover or the back. Bright yellow back cover.
Really, I didn't even know that.
CES
wow.
brand.
That's even better. So
yeah, Bonnie Chow was taking photos of that. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty, and it's funny because they look so close, so similar to the Samsung Galaxy S2. It was a little bit made the folks there displaying it a little uncomfortable when I said that because it looks so close to that device, especially on the
Sort of
back.
like sidestepping slowly away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't think they appreciate that comment.
So maybe a little wrong in the ice cream sandwich, but I think that we always do that. We think that it's kind of last year. I think for CES we probably said lots more gingerbread because it was right after the Galaxy or the Nexus S, right? Sorry, I have to remember all these. And then we didn't see a lot of gingerbread.
Right.
They came out earlier.
We
Then
were-
it was Froyo, and then it was.
We were also hoping for quad-core phones, but this is not that show either.
Yeah.
But
Well, there
what
is a
about-
quad-core phone sitting around the Fujitsu booth.
Oh, really?
Yes, but it's behind glass, and so I don't think.
So we don't actually know if it's a quad-core phone. It's like Schrodinger's phone.
No, it is, but I mean, it's just not. We didn't. It's not out. It's not out on the floor. It's
Right,
not out. You
but we
can really
can't
touch it.
prove it.
No, you can't open it up and look at it.
They could just be saying it's
What
quad-core.
about Intel's big news last night?
Oh, yeah,
that
forgot about
was
that.
kind of random.
Yeah, that was something that was dropped in the middle of the Intel press conference. Lenovo is introducing. They make a lot of PCs. They make a lot of desktops, laptops. So did drop a new phone. So we'll talk about that in a second. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back.
Awesome.
And we're back. We're just talking about the Lenovo phone. This is a phone that's going to be powered by Intel, an Intel processor, and it is the Lenovo K800. And it was kind of weird because we weren't expecting it at all, and then they were at the Intel press conference, and suddenly it was, boom, here's a new phone from Android phone. So I know that Brian Tong got to check it out last night, and Jamar Kavibi from download.com got to check it out. But what do you guys think? I mean, was surprised by this news?
Yeah, definitely surprised by it, and also I'm just kind of wondering how well that's going to succeed. Dell tried it, didn't really work. There are other companies. ViewSonic has a phone here that we haven't looked at yet, and are they selling those? I mean, I think that the carriers and the major manufacturers really own the market, so it's interesting to see something else, especially if there is some sort of innovation on it, but I don't know if it's wasted effort or not.
Yeah, I mean that's a real hurdle, for them to get carrier approval for that kind of device. But I'm going to throw out a crazy idea. What if?
Should we get out of the way?
Yeah, watch out, just duck, man. Okay, so I'm thinking, Lenovo, and I heard this from other folks, so I can't take full credit for this. But what if Lenovo actually bought BlackBerry or RIM because they have such like a kind of a business, same kind of client. So can you imagine if that Lenovo phone actually kind of takes some of the business away, business phone usage away from BlackBerry?
Yeah, I do want to check it out though. It looks interesting. The specs we don't really know a lot. There's gingerbread on it. I think there's a 5 megapixel camera, I think, or 8. And they were very short on specs, very short on release or timing or anything like that. But it is supposed to be the first of quite a few Intel-powered phones, and made by Lenovo but powered by Intel and all Android. So another player in the market. And then ViewSonic, like you said too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So. Jessica, we were talking during the break. Jessica wanted me to mention, of course, the T-Mobile press conference last night. Lynn got to meet us. Lynn got to meet a TV star.
Yeah, we all took pictures. Me and Brian took pictures with Carly Fox, I think.
Yeah,
She's the T-Mobile girl, basically.
AKA
Sorry.
T-Mobile
The
girl.
T-Mobile girl with the pink dress, and she's super pretty and
In
super
real
nice.
life,
Yeah.
and
I
then
just
they
look like a
showed,
trash bag next to her.
they showed an ad where she was wearing the same dress that she was wearing to the party.
I know. How weird is it to be like at a party and then see your ad? Like
Actually, I
on
really
TV?
liked it because I kind of glanced over at her to see her response because I was sort of on one side, being sandwiched by Carly T-Mobile girl on one side and then ad with Carly T-Mobile girl on the other side, and she was looking at it and she's just kind of like,
Yeah, someone asked her how it felt, and she's like, I don't like looking at myself on camera. I never see these
I can
commercials."
understand that.
God, really? How does she not watch the
familiar-
commercials?
I know. Does she just like run out of the room screaming every time?
No.
Sir TiVo just screams them out, I think. Like she's got some program. So, but there was a pretty interesting event because, like we had mentioned earlier, T-Mobile was very much about we're back in the U.S. I mean, they've always been here, but I mean we're back. From trying to merge with AT&T, we are gonna get newer phones. We have Spectrum. We got the cash
And
infusion
this came from the mouth of the CEO, who came up on stage and actually spoke for quite a long time in what I thought was a very forthright manner, and I really appreciated it. I thought it was the most honest executive statement and summary that I've heard at this show.
Really, I thought it was a little bit of like we're just trying to sell a line here.
Maybe, but I think for the most
I mean-
part, you go up and you hear the carriers saying things like, our network is strong, we're the largest 4G network. No, we're the largest and the fastest and the most reliable. And then you've got
T-Mobile
him
does
going,
that though. They're very good about. They're very big
that's
about
true,
saying
but then you
HTTP
get him
plus
going
is-
up there and he's like, the last 9 months have been hard.
Right.
You know, well,
Well, but
I
I
guess
don't,
we're
I don't
gonna
think you
re-
could talk
we're
to
gonna look
anyone
at
in
our
that
business
room
again.
who was upset that that merger did not happen.
Well, let me just say one thing. I know that I was at that press conference. I was on a T-Mobile device, the HTC Amaze 4G, and I was trying to actually get access to just TweetDeck and all that stuff over 4G at their press conference, and I was having connectivity problems.
because they were using it.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I mean,
don't know.
it was the same thing. Was there a sign there? They usually have signs at all of these things, like
Yeah.
to make sure our demos work, please turn off your Sprint,
True.
etc.,
True.
AT&T, whatever, hotspots.
But I
and-
wasn't even using it as a hotspot.
You were just
I
trying to use your
wanted
damn
use it as a
phone.
phone. That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
But and then you guys, and then afterward you dropped by the BlackBerry thing. That was
Oh, yes.
not a lot there.
Oh yes, Lynn and I went to the BlackBerry event. It was a informal cocktail party type thing.
But everyone was dressed in black anyway.
I know.
We didn't get the memo.
Well, you were the Cosmopolitan. I think that's like the
That's
hotel
true.
where everyone dresses in black.
It's
Oh,
the
okay.
uniform.
It's very fancy, but unfortunately there wasn't any news. There had people showing off the BlackBerry Playbook 2 OS, which is really, I don't even know if it's actually out yet. I think it's more like in development or for developers. And they kept pushing how it's supposed to be, a segue over to BlackBerry 10.
Which isn't coming yet.
Which is coming out at some point. I don't know.
But to be fair, we knew all of this. We
Mhm.
knew that they weren't going to announce a product. We knew beforehand that BlackBerry 10 wasn't going to come for a while.
But
None of that
but
is a
we've,
surprise.
but it's been a long time that we've known that.
It
You know,
has been a long time
it's
that
been,
we've known it. And then they
okay,
keep
not this month,
reminding
but
us.
next month, but next month.
But RIM has still had a big showing here, not in terms
Right.
of products, but actually their booth eats up about half of the floor of the South Hall, just right over there.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have deep pockets still.
So maybe we'll have to wait for Mobile World Congress for that.
Right.
Of course, that's a big show next month in Barcelona, where it's sort of the biggest mobile show in the world, and we'll be there to bring you all that. But that should be BlackBerry 10.
Fingers
Awesome.
crossed.
What other phone did you bring, Brian?
Oh yes, so Motorola was nice enough to actually bring another phone that was announced this week. This is the Droid Razr, but it's the purple
Give it a
version.
spin.
So check this out here if you want to take a look. So we've got it's got purple all around the sides. It's really thin, the same thickness as the original Droid Razr, but it has purple along here, along the edges, and just along back here. So if you like a very metallic purple device with Android that's really fast, this could be what you're looking for.
It's pretty.
Yes,
I have
pretty.
to admit it. It's pretty.
I'm not sure if purple's my thing, but
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of different things on the internet. Some people say that it's really pretty. Other people say that it looks really ghetto and it kind of looks weird. And I'm like, I guess, color is such a,
I know.
personal
Personal
thing.
and
It's a personal
emotive
choice.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
personal choice.
There was a period, oh god, I forget when it was, a few years ago, where we had a bunch of purple phones, like right in a row. 6 purple phones, and like purple was like the new black for a little bit. And then I
Right.
think blue was after that, so it always changes.
I think black and gray are the most
Yeah.
wanted colors.
Or
the most
white.
neutral.
What's
Or
with
white.
all these
Yeah,
white
white.
There is a-
White has
White.
become the new black.
Yes.
Yeah, there is
No,
a
black is the new white is the new purple or something.
one of the new
like
Sony
that.
Ericsson
Something
phones.
like
The is the Xperia S, I think. The new, sorry, Sony phone, not Sony Ericsson. Comes in white as well.
Yeah.
So in a lot of white.
Okay, so I
What's
didn't
this?
see those phones.
Oh. This is the Motorola
We'll get to that in a
Droid.
second.
Sorry.
That's okay.
This is the Motorola Droid Razr Max. Let me turn this on. So me and Brian were looking at this, and we kind of really dig it, only because there's a 33. Oh, sorry. Only because there's a 3300 milliamp battery in the back.
Yeah.
It's
And,
like max
has a
power, max.
really
But you
fast
can barely
battery.
notice it. It's still super thin.
Yeah.
See?
I mean, compared to
let me
this,
see. Let's see that one compared. So
Yeah.
you
So
stack 'em up
obviously
together.
there must have been complaints because you can't remove the batteries in these phones, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
so you
Just try
can
to
hardly tell.
coordinate it. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a major issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and the people at Motorola were just giving us different specs. Of course, it totally depends on your individual usage, but they said 21.5 hours straight talk time, 8 full-length movies back to back, and yeah.
That'll help. That'll help
Wow.
the ride home be a lot easier, I think.
Yeah.
So basically Motorola's lesson is that thin isn't always the best, right? Because they had to add more battery, they had to like pop it out, so instead of having this notched back, it almost not that one.
That's still
Yeah,
pretty
well, this
thin, though.
one-
It almost
Yeah.
goes straight.
That's
Yeah,
still
but their
pretty
whole big
slim.
thing was that, like, this is really thin. But didn't Huawei announce that they now had the thinnest phone? Isn't
Yeah,
that
but
the...
that's going to last for like a week.
Right,
and
until
then
somebody
someone
else
else
has
is going to
the
announce
thinnest
I thought
something.
that was Samsung, man. Okay.
I mean, soon it's just gonna disappear. It's gonna be like you're gonna turn it on its side and you're not gonna see anything, except like a
Sometimes
card.
when it's too thin, people don't like it. It just has like a really fragile feel, and then
Well,
Or it's sharp in your hand. I kind of think
I'd
that the
say
Razor is a little
hands,
edgy.
Doing a hands-on with my tripod and autofocus on a phone like that, I'll have it, facing front, and as I turn it over, the autofocus will just like lose track, and all of a sudden everything blurs out. So it's like it disappears,
So Sony Ericsson, sorry, we did
yeah.
announce 2 phones. I keep saying that. I'm gonna have to get out of that. It is just Sony now.
Sony.
So it's just Sony, and they did announce 2 phones: the Sony Xperia Ion and the Sony Xperia S. The Xperia S completely confused me at first because I thought, didn't they already announce this? The Xperia Arc S, but
Right.
completely different. So you took a look at the Xperia Ion at first. And
Yes. So the big news is really it's a Android. It's a gingerbread. Unfortunately, it's not ice cream sandwich, but it has.
Nothing is.
I know
Yeah.
what's going on.
we
but
just get the promise. Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say it's coming. Just like with the droids here from Motorola, they're supposed to get ice cream sandwich soon. But the Ion basically has I think it's like a 2 megapixel HD camera in the front and a 12 megapixel.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is. So a 12 megapixel main camera, which is pretty impressive.
Well, I'll see your 12 megapixel camera and I'll raise you 16 megapixels with the HTC Titan 2 Windows.
Oh.
There's
Damn.
blackjack
All
tables
right.
just over the Hilton. So
I didn't even. Wow, that's a lot of megapixels.
we
Well-
took some pictures on the Titan too. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
Yeah, actually, you think megapixels again, also with the Sony. Damn, I want to say Ericsson also.
I know.
But anyway, with the Sony phones,
Right.
the megapixels, it's again the issue we talk about a lot. If they didn't change the light sensor, if the rendering software isn't any good,
Or even
then-
the optics.
and
If the lens is not so hot,
Right,
it may
then-
not even matter, right? Like
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll be putting all of these through major camera tests as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, cameras, point and shoot cameras seem to be fading away as people are using their phones as their cameras now. So it's definitely more important now to actually have a good camera in your phone. And especially when you want to send it over to Twitter or Facebook or something like that, it's so much easier to do it from your phone than some kind of fancy internet-enabled camera or something like that.
and I know you're a big fan of the Titan too.
I like the Titan 2. The original Titan, I got into some arguments with some other, mobile bloggers about the best Windows phone out there, and they said the Titan.
Were these
I said
in-person arguments, or were they over
No.
Twitter, or?
They came to blows.
Oh, okay,
It was
nice.
fisticuffs. But I basically said that I liked the basically Windows Phone version of the Samsung Galaxy S2 line, and they basically said that they liked the Titan, and I found the Titan 2 to be so much better because yes, they have increased the battery life, they've increased the camera, it's 4G LTE, and then they also just kind of gave it a little lick of paint, so it's a different color. It's a soft touch finish, which is, I just think, friendlier to hold, and there's a little texturing on the back cover as well. So all in all, I think that's a much better device, and if AT&T didn't have the Lumia 800, then I would definitely say that the Titan 2 would be the best device, but I think it's going to be neck and neck for a while until we get our hands on tests.
It's nice to see 2 Windows phones. We like 2 of them. They're really cool. See how they compete.
I want to see Verizon pick up another Windows phone.
Yeah, they don't. And
Sprint can have one too.
but Sprint hasn't picked one up in a long time, though. Haven't they?
Verizon has one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
the
it.
trophy.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I forget. So
Yeah.
We'll have to get
So
more.
Verizon hasn't picked one up either, but
Mhm.
AT&T is definitely the Windows Phone, patron.
Yeah, and they are getting there very much. And
Yeah.
T-Mobile, they did actually the Lumia 710 one on sale today. Brian reviewed that phone a little while ago,
Yep.
and thought it was a pretty,
It's not bad. I mean, it's like
especially for its price, right?
Yeah, it's like
49.
$50 basically, and you get all the basic features, and it runs, Windows Phone Mango very well. No performance hiccups or anything like that. And you can do everything that you can do on an Android phone with a device like that. The only I think sore point was that it has a 5 megapixel camera, so not enough megapixels for me.
But for that
Yeah.
price, I think it's it's
For that
decent.
price,
and
I
that
think
came in
that's
white too.
great.
Right?
That's right. Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
in white and black, and maybe some other colors you can add on to the back too.
Yeah, globally, I think it comes in like pink, cyan, yellow. But so here's the thing, though. I mean, for Windows Phone and Nokia's like, yeah, we're back in the U.S. We're really going to give this a push. But so far, AT&T has the highest concentration of Windows phones. T-Mobile is next. Nokia and Microsoft are going to have to get Windows phones on all 4 carriers, and they have to be real offerings. Oh, so here's something interesting too. We met with, so Lynn Bryan and I met with Microsoft yesterday to talk about Windows Phone, and we asked the question about the incentives, because there was a rumor or story that the salespeople were going to be given incentives, so money, basically if they could sell a certain number of
Because there's been a
Windows
lot of
phones.
reports that carrier staff are actively discouraging people from buying Windows phones. They go into the store and they say no, and they ask for, and customer will ask for Windows Phone. They'll say no, you want to get Nokia, you want to get Android, or you want to get iOS, something else.
Right. Well, actually, it's funny because the Microsoft representative actually said that a lot of it has to do with pushing services. So, maybe the Windows devices did not have hotspot or other ways to pay into some of the carrier services that will generate revenue for them. So, but now it's getting more advanced. There's hotspot. There's all these ways to share content and stream video and all that stuff. So
Tablets, things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So all of those devices. And I think the take home of the story is that he was saying, since there are these other ways, it might just be that sometimes the representatives would push something if they were given extra payment for selling a bundled service or more devices, and so they gravitated toward Android where they could do that. And then also, I think the report was that it was AT&T who was guilty of this, and AT&T has come out and said that's not how they operate. They don't work on commission that way.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that report was maybe a little bit false, but Microsoft definitely knows that they need to get into the retail stores if they're going to sell their phones.
More carrier support, more manufacturer support, and a better app, more strengthen the app community, the app developer community, because
and the
those are
software.
things that really make operating systems run well.
But they've actually, the apps have skyrocketed. They were at 18,000, then 30,000, and now they've reported that they've crossed the 500 or 50,000 mark.
I mean, you just
And
need the
it's
quality
been a
there.
year,
You need the
basically.
quality there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just have to make Windows Phone cool, which it's kind of difficult because
You mean like a brand perception?
Yes, because like I was carrying around one of the Windows phones on T-Mobile, and I started using it among friends and family, and everyone was like, "What is that? Is that a Windows phone?" Like.
Well, they hear Windows, and people. I mean, I wrote a column
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago about why we need Windows Phone 7. A lot of the comments were, "I can't buy it because it's Microsoft and it's Windows," and it's. I mean, I think that's not really the best attitude about it. I mean, the way to approach it, but yeah, I mean, you throw in Windows and people get a little. They think of the computer operating system, and they get all freaked out about it.
So I do the cool tech test on my 15-year-old nephew, who's really into technology and all the cool stuff. And I brought him the Samsung Focus Flash and the Samsung Focus S, which is the one that's like the Galaxy S2 phone, but on Windows Phone. And he's playing with it. I'm showing him, look, you can do this, this, and this. You can change the colors. You can do all this stuff. It's $50, for the Focus Flash. And he hands it back to me, and he's like, I don't want to look at this anymore because I'm going to want it. And my dad won't let me have a smartphone.
Huh.
So he thinks it's cool.
Maybe he could be a new spokesperson for Windows Phone 7.
Yeah.
I smell a contract.
Exactly. So Lynn, it's your first. We're gonna be ending soon, but Lynn, I want to say it's your first CES. What have you learned?
That it's very crowded and very dry, and that a lot more celebrities actually come than I think.
Who
And
else have you seen?
I was really surprised that Justin Timberlake came to kind of promote MySpace and try to make it look cool again. But the fact that he was just here, and I was only under the impression that LL Cool J and maybe Justin Bieber was here. But
Bieber fever.
Yeah, but Justin Timberlake came, and I thought that was really surprising.
Though you missed the concert you wanted to see, which at T-Mobile, right?
Yeah, Colby Calais was supposed to. Well, she did play at the T-Mobile concert,
But we had to
jetted
skedaddle.
Yeah, we jetted out before we.
My best celebrity sighting was Carly the T-Mobile girl.
Yeah.
Brian?
You know what? I mean, okay, celebrities are great and all, but I actually had a really awesome moment this morning in front of the hotel when I saw a Fisker Karma super electric, supercar.
I mean, I'm not a car guy, so I'm not familiar.
I don't know.
with this,
I dig electric cars, and this is an electric supercar that is really rare.
Does it look different?
It looks badass. I mean, pretty much. I mean, if you saw it, it's got this crazy tail and swooping.
You should talk to
yeah.
You should talk to Antoine Goodwin or Wayne Cunningham. The Cardtech guys. Get yourself a ride in it.
I should, man. Oh my god.
Do they have a booth here? You should.
They probably do. I wonder what that was doing here, because it's pretty awesome.
Well, I have to say I've never been to a lot of T-Mobile events, but first time I have seen Carly. I haven't actually seen any of their celebrities though. I mean, I watched them, a couple of LL Cool J, of course, here on the CNET stage yesterday that I watched on TV, but I haven't seen anybody in person. But should have more people dropping by. So
yeah, tell your friends.
So, okay, after this, of course, at 10 o'clock, we are doing our CNET's Best of CES nominees. We have a bunch of categories, including phones, so we can't say what they are now. But we will be announcing those. So either hang around or come back or come down to the stage or tune in at 10 a.m. Pacific time here from Las Vegas at CES to watch CNET's Best of CES Awards nominees. And, of course, the winners will be announced tomorrow. So that's about it for Dialed In at CES. You can join the show, actually. You can join the podcast, actually, every Monday. Sorry.
Monday.
We keep switching days, so I get confused.
Monday at 10.
Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific. And where Brian joins from New York, Jessica and Lynn hold it down in San Francisco. So tune in every Monday for Dialed In. Thanks for joining us today from CES 2012. I'm Ken Sherman, here with Jessica, Brian, and Lynn for CNET.